press conference. You're welcome, Mr. Taal.
Thank you very much, MS Bar, Emeritus President of GPU, past President. Good morning, members of the press, civil society, members of civil society, and my right, Commissioner, I always call you Commissioner Yankuba, head of Election Watch. My left, Young, Executive Director of Gambia Participates, and of course, most importantly, the lady sitting with us, Anita, Head of Programs, Dynamic Anita Mahoney of GP. It is indeed an honor for me to welcome all attendants, journalists, civil society, and citizens, who are all stakeholders in this process, who took their time out to attend this press conference / briefing. I'll start by acknowledging the important role the media plays in shaping public discourse in governance and democracy. The media is called the fourth estate because they have a very important role to play. It is not lost to Gambians of the immense role our brothers and sisters, mothers and fathers and uncles and aunties who live abroad, either to be educated or for greener pastures, the immense contribution they make to our country, not only economically, that is well established, socially, and also to our political trajectory. Diaspora, as it's called, for me, I call them Gambian brothers and sisters, are citizens of the Gambia and enjoy every right as every Gambian. Your right as a Gambian does not change because of where you're located. I don't think any Gambian would live elsewhere if they have the option of living in the Gambia. So it's not a matter of choice. Many Gambians migrated for economic reasons or to seek a better education or opportunities. Those Gambians played a very critical role in ensuring end of dictatorship. They played a very critical role in restoring democracy. Those sons and daughters of Gambia, there was a time for those of us that lived in Gambia under the dictatorship that even this media could not have this press conference. This media could not speak. It was the likes of Freedom Newspaper, Gainako, Echo, Gambia L, that amplified our voices, that spoke for us. When we were in Gambia, muzzled, we couldn't speak. The diaspora played a big role in even getting the political parties to come together, the Democratic Front. And so many put their resources, energy, intellect, some of them risked their lives, did everything possible to end dictatorship. And Coalition 2016 arose after Solo Sending went out protesting for electoral reform. He lost his life. He gave his life. He sacrificed his life for the greater good, for Gambia to be free from dictatorship, for Gambia to have an electoral system that is fair and equitable, that will allow Gambians to be able to make informed choices as to who should lead and steer their affairs. That's what Solo Sending died for. He died to make sure that we have justice, we are free, and we have an inclusive and participatory democracy. Today, 8 years after, the promise is made of ensuring that the electoral reforms required is put in place. One of which was to just ensure diasporans, that is Gambians who reside abroad, not only in America, in Senegal, in Guinea-Bissau, in Mali, or Cote d'Ivoire, are able to exercise their constitutional right, which is guaranteed by Section 39, to vote where they live and reside at that point in time, rather than flying back to Gambia or driving back to Gambia. This is already given by the law, provided by the law. This is given by, Yahya Jammeh's constitution, I'll call it that. Already, 1997 constitution, that is colloquially called the Jammeh constitution. They even provided for that possibility, that right. And also the Election Act provides for the registrations of diasporans. It mandates the IEC to compile and register diasporans living abroad. Section 141 clearly states that the IEC may make rules to ensure people in diaspora can vote in presidential elections. So there is no doubt that the law of the land, as it stands, as confirmed by the Supreme Court case of Bakari Bunja Dabo, Coach Samajau, and others against the IEC, the Attorney General and the IEC, the Supreme Court affirmed with clarity that all Gambians living in the Gambia, outside the Gambia, have a right to be registered and vote in all national elections, and urge the IEC to discharge their duty, their legally mandated duty to register Gambians abroad so that they can vote. In fact, in that case, the IEC considered that, yes, we know that we are legally mandated to register Gambians abroad to vote, and undertook to do it. In fact, there was subsequently a budgetary allocation for that purpose, somehow, somewhere. And that informed the passage of the elections bill, which is now before the National Assembly. The elections bill was subject to extensive consultative process of stakeholders, the inter-party participated, civil society participated, the Bar Association participated, the executive participated, Minister of Justice participated. So the bill before, and the diaspora also participated. MSDG participated to make sure the bill is fit for purpose. This is the bill that was taken to the National Assembly that has been there since 2019, I believe. Now we're in 2025. How many years is that? How many years is that? 2020 rather, 2020. Yeah, at least 5 years ago. So there are many important provisions in that bill. As you know, the bill is now under consideration the National Assembly line by line, following the committee looked at it, the Human Rights and Constitutional Law Committee looked at it. And many of us were shocked to see that a very progressive provision, that is clause 14, which basically is providing for what already exists in the law, just expanding the scope, giving sort of ensuring that the IEC takes concrete steps to register diasporans without any ambiguity. I think that was the purpose, to make sure that IEC takes concrete steps to ensure that Gambians abroad are able to enjoy their rights already guaranteed by the Constitution. So it's not Section 14, Clause 14 in the bill is not giving diasporans the right. That right is already given by the Constitution. It's just making it operational so that they can actually actualize and be able to, vote where they live. Because the law has been provided. The legal framework was what is missing. And IEC is legally mandated to do that. And they have not done it today. So this clause was strengthened and was subject of intense debate and discourse to ensure that it is very clear that IEC have to do it, and was very specific as to what they should do to ensure it happens with clarity. Now, removing that provision means that we are regressing. We are going. The current law itself provides for it. Now you go to National Assembly. Now they are basically going pre-JAME era, basically. That is how regressive it is to remove that clause. So today, and we've heard the different explanations given as to why it was removed. Let me make it clear. There is no legal obstacle or inconsistency with having clause 14 in the election bill. Let me make clear. There is no legal inconsistency. It is not inconsistent with the Constitution. That bill was brought in by the executive through the Ministry of Justice. It was drafted and presented through the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice is the chief legal advisor of government. The Ministry of Justice will not bring any bill that is not in line with the Constitution. This bill went through committee, and committee in the recommendation left clause 14 in it. The committee had extensive consultations. If it was not in line with the Constitution, I think it would not be on the floor. It would have been picked up at all the stages. So I think we need to put to rest the notion that having clause 14 in the bill is inconsistent with the Constitution. To the contrary, deleting clause 14 is potentially unconstitutional, because section 100, I think 2 and sub C of the Constitution makes it clear that the legislative power of the National Assembly does not extend to making laws that will negate pre-existing rights of citizens or rights provided affirmed by a court of law. In this case, Section 39 says clearly that all Gambians have a right to vote, and Supreme Court has clarified the law, this provision, that this means all Gambians, regardless of where you live. So as it stands, the Supreme Court being the apex court and the final court, meaning the Supreme Court's decision is final as to what the law is. There's no doubt that diasporans have a right to be registered and to vote in elections. So for National Assembly now to take out a provision that would, in effect, deprive Gambians of the right, or dilute that right, or restrict that right, that is also potentially not in line with the Constitution. So today, we're here, part of a consortium of Gambian civil society, that is Elections Watch, led by Yankuba, Gambia Participate, led by Mark Nang, and Edward Smart, Francis Small, led by Madi Jabate, and other stakeholders who came together and did a thorough review of the issues around the deleted clause 14 and came up with a position paper to help and assist our National Assembly member revisit their decision and highlight what we believe is the correct legal position so that they can make a better informed decision and bring back the clause in line with what the majority of Gambians want. We've also developed an FAQ, frequently asked question, to summarize the issue, which we also will share in due course, to make sure that also the press, you will spread this information. So in the public discourse, the correct information is out there for the public to judge for themselves. We do not claim to have a monopoly of knowledge or wisdom. As you know, every issue can be seen with different lenses. But we do believe that our position is in line with the law, and it has been succinctly documented and referenced with the law, which you can read for yourself. And we don't decide what the law is. It's the Supreme Court. Any lawyer can have a view on what a law is, but the final arbiter, that is the final say as to what is law or constitutional, is the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court has made a pronouncement on this, and a very clear pronouncement, unequivocal pronouncement as to the right of diasporans to be registered and to vote in elections. On that note, I thank you all for taking time, and other speakers will come in and explain and also contribute to the discussion, and then you can also ask questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Council. Very important.